My mother-in-law secretly DNA tested our daughter and told my husband she isn't his. She has no idea I was S8 and that we didn't want to know if the baby was my husband's. Trigger warning, SA. My 45 female husband, 48 male, and I have been together for 25 years. We have 3 kids, 8 female, 15 male, and 17 female. My husband and I had a lot of trouble conceiving our daughter. We went through several years with no luck and had seen a fertility doctor who had prescribed some medication to help with ovulation. We couldn't afford IVF, so we were going to try this last thing and then look into adoption. Well, long story short, I was SA during a burglary while my husband was out with his brother. It was right when I was to be ovulating. At the hospital I took EC even though I knew it would undo all the hard work, medication, and meant we wouldn't be able to have a baby of our own, but I couldn't risk getting pregnant with my attacker's baby. Well, after a few months I've been feeling off, sick, and down. I figured I was just depressed after the SA and I hadn't been eating. But I soon found out I was pregnant. We were so excited until I went to my appointment and found out I was 15 weeks instead of the 5 or 6 weeks I thought I was. I had been having really irregular spotting and bleeding since the EC, so didn't even imagine I was that far along. My husband and I were devastated because that meant there was so much uncertainty surrounding paternity. We had our ultrasound and as soon as we saw the baby on the screen, I knew I couldn't have an abortion and my husband didn't want to either. We talked and went back and forth about adoption and if the baby didn't end up being his or what we would do, and he said he didn't care about paternity, we just wouldn't find out. We decided to wait until our child was older to tell them and they could decide if they wanted to find out themselves. I will also note at this point my case was unsolved but had been linked to other SAs and murders at the time. A few years ago my attacker was caught and a year ago finally sentenced. At the hearing I spoke and my daughter and son knew about it but I didn't go into details, but they knew I was attacked but only knew it was before they were born. Last Christmas my mother-in-law bought my daughter, and only my daughter, a 23andMe for Christmas. I thought it was extremely weird but didn't think too much of it. Thinking back I don't know why I didn't see it for what it was. My daughter was equally confused and asked if I wanted to do it instead. I'm adopted. I said sure and just gave my daughter an Amazon gift card for the price of the test. My daughter brought it to my attention that my mother-in-law has been overly critical of my daughter in the last few months, commenting on her differences. Saying things like I wonder where those eyes came from, hair, height. She even said to my daughter, I wonder why you're so skinny. My daughter looks exactly like me, the same eye color, same hair color and texture, but she is quite a bit taller than me. I'm 5 feet 8 inches and she's 6 feet. I'm on the heavier side, so is my husband, and my daughter is extremely thin, but she is also an athlete. I've never had any reason to believe from looks alone that she is not my husband's daughter. After my daughter brought it to my attention how my mother-in-law was acting, I spoke with her and she said, oh, she's just being sensitive. This was a couple months ago. A couple nights ago my mother-in-law invited my husband and I out for dinner and told us to leave the kids at home, because she had something important to discuss with us. We went to a restaurant, we're eating and my mother-in-law hands me and my husband 2 separate envelopes. My husband and I both looked